Yeah, you can use the Google
Yeah,
Text.
okay.
That would be cool.
I don't have any hats.
Hey, we're live.
Last time I tried, the Google Fence gave me a hard time, but let's see if it works today.
See, I love that.
Google hat.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
Awesome.
So this is the Marketing Chicks Hangout, and the Marketing Chicks Mastermind Hangout. Oh my God, I love your horns, Nicole.
That's so appropriate.
That's perfect.
I know. It really is.
Why? Because you're
nothing more fun. That's cool. We decided. Tracy said that asked if we could wear hats, and she loves hats, as evidenced by the elf ears that are on my head for the. No.
Oh God, Trace, you got to take.
All right.
So
if you have, check and see if you have YouTube open anywhere and turn it off.
yeah, somebody's got YouTube on.
My hats won't work. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
That's so appropriate.
That's perfect.
I know.
All right, I'm gonna mute everybody for just a moment, and I'm gonna close. There we go. Tracy said asked if we could wear hats, and she loves hats. This is fun.
It's like recording.
You have your browser open.
Oh God, Trace, you got to take.
What's it doing?
If you have the YouTube channel open, because we were looking at the YouTube channel earlier, then you're getting the double feedback because we just went live. Ah, so this is really cool, right? Because Google's not all that new technology, but it's great. It takes a lot of trial and error.
Who's got the feedback?
Practicing.
Who's got their open?
Yeah, just check your tabs and make sure you don't have any tabs open except for the Hangout.
Close all your tabs, everybody.
Yeah. I had to close mine. Mine was live.
Oh, so you were the culprit.
I think we had one at least.
At least, yeah, because we were all trying to figure out how do I get into this Hangout anyway. That's so funny. So we've got some people viewing and things, but anyway, the point is that this is. We are women who love marketing and have a passion for helping people. We all have a heart. We know we have one heart because we've seen it. We've seen it, right, Deborah? And we've seen our one heart, and we've dropped our one heart. But we've met in person, and so we're social, especially socially smashing. I mean. Three of you guys, and I'm sometimes in Denver, but we got to meet at Ken MacArthur's conference. He wants to be a man who has an impact on the world around him, and he's had an impact on all of us. And we decided we wanted to kind of get together and hang out and check in with each other, and so we decided to do it this way with Google Hangouts, and I said, hey, if we're going to do a Hangout, let's make it live, because that would be fun. Because what could not be more fun than hanging out with the marketing chicks who love Ken MacArthur? I think that's the biggest thing that we have in common. And I've lost my heart. Found my heart. So let's introduce ourselves. Start with Tracy.
I am Tracy Malone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, it's echoing in my house. So I'm Tracy Malone. I have a web design social media company in Denver, Colorado, and I love social media.
And tell me about Foursquare.
Foursquare's changing, you know. I was writing a book on Foursquare, but they are actually removing the whole check-in process, and it's going to be another app soon. So
that's so funny.
Not really as much fun as it used to be.
Nope, right? It's
That's
not.
so funny when you're writing a book about it and they stop doing what they're doing.
I know. Thank God I didn't finish it and pay for it.
And then we've got two fun ladies in the middle, Tara and Rebecca. Introduce yourselves.
Okay, we're the Marketing Monsters, Tara Jacobson and Rebecca Welch.
Yep.
We write books. We just started a podcast. We're using Hangouts to do our original podcast and then WYSIWYGing it into a podcast.
That's right.
Second week, less heinous. First week, totally heinous.
Totally heinous.
We're just really excited. We're having some really good success, and we're just. I was thinking about this morning while I was brushing my teeth. We're just doing a lot of stuff, and lots of it's working, rather than trying to do like one amazing
Perfect
thing.
right?
Nice. I like that because the more content you put out there, the broader your message can spread, and more people it'll resonate with stuff.
That's
How
right.
about Nicole? And
Hey.
your cute little horns.
Yeah, well, this is my wake up look. I am not, I'm definitely not showered or anything. So
It's 2 hours earlier there. It's 10:35 in Minnesota. I wasn't out of bed at 8:30.
oh, I'm out of bed. I actually did my workout and I just got back. So
Cool.
so I'm So this is the post workout look.
Yeah.
With the horns. So who am I? I am Nicole Jolie of Socially Smashing, and that is who I am. I'm Socially Smashing. I help other companies to create their voice online, although I am moving out of that direction and into a totally different direction, which is really cool.
You are.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about the direction that you've gone, and we'll talk about that coming up because I've got some news for you. We also share one heart. Hi, Deborah.
Hi, Lori. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Tara, Rebecca. Hi, Tracy.
I love the hearts on your head, Deborah.
Well, I'm marketing and writing with heart, not hype.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea with heart because that's exactly what you are, Deborah. You are complete heart-centered. Like, if anybody could walk into a room and see an aura of a purple heart, it would be you.
Exactly.
Oh, well, thank you.
And they would walk into the same room and see the little devil horns on me.
Well, you are a little devil, but
I
we know
know.
how to have fun together, that's for sure.
Deborah, in that same conference in last July, were you in the mastermind the first day on Thursday?
When we first met last year?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was. Oh,
Well, this year I was. This year I was in the mastermind, but not last year.
Okay, there was somebody who was in the mastermind, and I'm trying to remember who it was now. About your height, brown hair and stuff, but when I walked into the mastermind, the doors were already open. But have you ever walked in the room and people turned around?
Yes.
Right? And I mean that sounds kind of weird to some people, but I think when you are living your passion and finding a way to work with the things that you're passionate about, and you've got that aura and that energy because you're excited about what the possibilities are. I was really excited about getting into that room that day, and I walked in, and she turned around, and then several other people turned around, and it's not like I made any noise. I was walking on carpet, but that energy connection was made, and I was thinking it was you, but evidently it wasn't. So.
I don't remember that.
But that's how the weekend started, and the TED Talk that I did on Saturday morning, that's kind of why that whole feeling thing came throughout that weekend, because there was such strong energy and emotion and feeling, and people who were really truly trying to find their passion and find how to live a life they felt was worth living. And that's where I came up with one guy that was there at lunch. He said, I have a hard time receiving. I'm good at giving, but I have a hard time receiving. I said, really? I said, has anybody ever given you a hug? And he said, yeah. I said, do you ever give one back? And he looked at me kind of funny, and he said, what do you mean? And I said, stand up a minute. So I gave him a hug, and I was like, look, you're good at giving hugs, and you're great at receiving them. I mean, you're really taking this hug well. You know? And he looked at me kind of funny, and I'm like, baby, it's that easy. You are robbing somebody of the joy of giving you something important to them, some kind of a gift, some kind of value. And if you rob people, if you cannot receive it, you're literally robbing people of that pleasure. And we just had a moment there, right? I mean, we did the heart hug, you know, this side instead of the other. And it really spoke to him. And so those are the kinds of things that happened that weekend that really led up to that TED Talk, which is on my YouTube channel. Sadly, Andy was filming it, but he was standing beside the speaker instead of in front of it, so it was hard to hear. But I'm glad he captured it. I was really thrilled. But anyway, what have you guys experienced at the Ken MacArthur events? Let's just do a little love fest for Ken.
Well, I'll jump in because the thing I experience the most is connection. You know, really connecting with other people and forming new relationships. I mean, that's where I think I met every one of you.
Yeah, except for Rebecca and Tracy. I met the other three. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's, for me, it's really the connections that I make with people. You know, all the training and all that happens, there's great speakers, but really, for me, the walk away when I leave is, oh, I'm missing all those people now. We just had 4 days together. That was awesome. You know, I haven't gone karaoke singing in years, but I did with Nicole. And
that was really fun. That was really fun.
Yeah, Nicole, you orchestrated Joel Combs' birthday, another man with great heart, who is a dear friend of Ken's. How did you meet Joel?
Like, I meet all of you online. There is not one person that is a good friend of mine that I haven't met online, literally.
Nice.
Which is true testimony to, you know, social media, because quite honestly, people, you know, put down, if you will, social media in such a way that, oh, well, you can't meet anybody online, and there's, you know, they have these preconceived notions of their own, you know, mental masturbation about whatever they're doing in their lives. But the idea is, seriously, when you take the time to meet people online, like, my network is huge. It's huge. And it's all because I met people online, every single one of them. And I've created, you know, really good friendships with people just online. I mean, I could tell you stories that would blow your mind about even the partner that I'm working with right now. You know, how I met her, and you know, how I met Joel, how I met Fernie Ceballos, how I met Raymond Fong, how I met Diane Hockman, and how I met, you know, I mean, I could just go through a litany of people that I've met, you know, doing this, and over 7 years, it's really paid off, you know, because now if I go grassroots like I am with this current product launch, I can go to people and I can say, hey, this is what I'm doing, will you support it? You know, I need 100 people.
And that's a really good point, Nicole, because it's not, I mean, you just used some words that are real common. I'm doing a product launch, I asked people if they'd support it, right? But because of that heart connection, not only with the people that you've made those relationships with, but because of the authenticity of your heart, and because of the courage of you to tell your story, that takes incredible courage. Everybody looks at us and you know, the Forbes top 50 people, and the people who are on the marketing lists, and the people who are on this and being recognized by that, and they're like, yeah, well, you know, they've got all kinds of resources, and they've got all kinds of this and all kinds of that. And no, I mean, the year before making Forbes list was the hardest year of my life, and the next year when I moved up the list was the worst year of my life, even beating out the 2011, you know. And I've been homeless in the past. I was a single mom in the past. You've been homeless as well, as you told on your story. And put the link that tells your story in the comments where the video is, so people can go and find that, because you've got a really powerful story, and the work and the product that you're launching is incredible.
You mean in the chat box? You want the link?
Yeah. Put it in the chat box, and we'll make sure we've got it on the in the comments on the YouTube video and stuff too, so people can find that.
Well, there's a method to this madness. I mean, it is altruistic, and don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not making a dime on this, and it is costing me a lot more than what the actual product is costing me, and in the time, and etc. But the idea behind it is, you know, how do you, most people don't even realize, like, how do you start a product launch, and what is a product launch? I had a guy come to me the other day with an exceptional product, and I told him, this isn't going to fly. I've worked on 6 different drinks, and none of them fly, because people don't want another drink in the aisle. They don't care about another drink. you know, when you go to Whole Foods, do you really think about, well, I want, you know, kombucha. All right. Well, what's the story behind kombucha? If you know the story, you're going to buy the drink. But otherwise, you're probably going to be picking something else out if that comes to your mind, right? So that's I mean, I look at product launches as the way of, you know, what are you saying to these people? And most people just want to shove it down their throat. You know, we were talking, Deborah and I, before this hangout, we're talking about Pitch Fest, and
I think it's because of what people are focusing on, right? They're focused on the product and on all the benefits of the product, that they forget about the people that they want to sell the product to and how it might help them and benefit them.
Nobody really cares about your product, though. Like, even my product is a great product, and if you know, like the history behind, for example, I mean, here's a great article that came out by NPR the other day called about microbeads. You know, the microbeads that we use on our face to make our face look better, right? They're plastic, and they're ending up in the Great Lakes, and they're causing, because they're so small and so within a tiny millimeter, the fish are now eating them. And the fish are dying because they can't digest the plastic in the microbeads because they think it's a food, because it looks like a food.
Right.
And so this is causing the death of fish and our marine life just in the Great Lakes, and it's causing the pollution because what it does is it creates a film, a soapy, filmy layer on top of the on top of the lake, which creates heat and then burns the water, basically. So when you think of it like that, and you think, okay, well, what could I do? What could I do that would make even bathing? I mean, let's just talk bathing. You know, what can I do to make this different? So there's a story behind it. Not my story is cool. You know, all right. So it's a cool homeless story, whatever. And not to dissipate that. But yeah, that video was really hard to make. It was probably one of the hardest things I've done. And when I literally did this video, I was like, this is not a good thing. This is not a good idea, you know. And it took me a couple of days and a lot of like soul searching inside, because I'm like, I don't know if I really want to. I don't know, you know, should I really do this? But it meant more to me to do it for the point of helping somebody else to create. Literally, there can be more than 28 dogs saved. And these dogs are euthanized when they walk into that kennel. They are literally right there, put into I mean, if you've seen it, if you see this, it's the most depressing thing you've ever seen. Pardon? It's heartbreaking. Yeah, they walk them down a hallway. They don't even bother. They just walk them down a hallway. Boom, shot, dead. Throw them into a barrel and barrel them into a big room. That's how they do it. They don't give them. It's not 24 hours. It's not even 2. I mean, these dogs are literally murdered right there in the hallway. There are dead dogs in the hallway. Wow. It's insane to see it. And nobody can take pictures. You're not allowed back there. You know, and I wouldn't say I've been privy to it, because it's really not something I really like to be privy to. But it's something that, you know, if we're treating a being that has a brain, that has feelings like that, how are we treating each other? Right. What does it say about us?
There was a great article, a great interview on the Huffington Post yesterday, actually, Huffington Post Live, about the floods that are happening in the Balkans region, in Serbia and the Balkans region. And Mo, who is a former ambassador, was being interviewed, and that man said, you know, even at one point they were saying, you know, we even need to rescue the animals because the animals are dying. Now we need to put the focus on humans, but we've got to protect our pets and our livestock and things, because the way we treat them, when we treat them humanely, it amplifies our humanity to each other.
Right, it does. It totally does. And as we see, like when I was homeless and I was being treated just, I mean, atrocity. Like, you know, cops would come up to me and say the nastiest things ever. I can't even begin to tell you, like, every time I see a cop, my heart just fucking races. Like, I'm going to literally just, like, throw up. That's how I feel about police. Really. I'm so devastatedly scared of police. And they were, I can't even begin to tell you the inhumanity that people, like, and I thought it was bad for me. I could just imagine what it's like to live. Like, I had a car, at least. I could live in the car with the 2 dogs. But even then, it was just pathetic how these people treat people. I mean, and it goes back to, how do you treat a being, you know? And this is more than just, okay, I'm giving away 100% of the profits of this one product, you know, for the first 100 sales. It's literally about creating momentum to say, what are you doing on a daily basis to help your community to thrive and prosper? Think locally, act locally, and create a mainstream where you can actually go into the global part where Huffington Post comes to you and says, look what you just did. And
Right.
how global is that? How global will that be?
Well, so many people, I think, don't feel they can make a difference.
No, because you know what? They don't make a difference in their own damn lives every day. They get up like freaking zombies and they stick their thumb up their ass. I mean, seriously,
Well, tell
you
us how
make
you
a damn difference.
Yeah. You know, and this kind of illustrates the point about passion. So many people tell me, well, I don't know what I should do because I'm not. How do I take and translate my passion into
How
work?
do you just take a fucking step and get the hell out of bed and start doing something a little bit more positive for yourself? For God's sakes, it's not that damn hard. Holy cow.
Yeah.
You know, really.
You have to be direct for sure. Let me introduce Mike. Now, a couple of you already know him. Probably all of you already know him, sadly.
Hi, Deb. Hi, Trace.
I'm in Minnesota with Mike O'Neill, the LinkedIn rock star. He is here, and this is kind of interesting. And the topic that we're talking about is living your passion. Well, a couple of years ago, Mike got a call from his mom and said, your dad is falling down and I can't pick him up anymore. And I mean, Mike packed a suit and got on a plane, a one-way ticket to Minneapolis, and was here for 5 weeks. And his lease was going to be up in Denver, so we decided that we'd move the company here to Minneapolis. And so now we're headquartered here, and he is taking care of his dad. And today, your dad is in daddy daycare.
It's just like kindergarten, literally.
Except the bus was late.
Did you remember this? Did you remember this? Did you remember this?
Oh.
You know, notepad, all the things you've got to remember and stuff.
Yeah.
And I had to walk him to the bus.
Wow.
Right out front, and his mom is in rehab, and she comes home Tuesday. And
My
his
sister's been in
hospital.
rehab most of her life, and she's still in rehab.
Rehab for what?
Sister's having other kinds of problems, not necessarily elderly issues, but issues when
Wow.
people have no hope and can't figure out a way to get out of it. You know, I think that if we have a message for the world that's going to resonate, it's that there is hope. There are people going through the same thing you're going through, and they're coming out of it every day. And you know, to support each other in that. When Mike posts about, hey, I'm at Captain Jack's with my dad, or the other day you took Dad to Dairy Queen and stuff, and talked about the burgers and things, and just posted those pictures. And there are so many people who say, you know, it's great that you have that time with your dad. And there are so many. Man, I mean, I tweeted, I put on Facebook once, what's the difference between a 30-year-old man living at home and a 50-year-old man living at home? And everybody said one's taking care of their parents, you know. And it could be true for the younger man too, but giving up so much of your life and having to give up so much of your time to work, and it really realigns, doesn't it?
In a lot of cases, our workday starts when everyone else is asleep.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Mom's in bed, dad's in bed, the kids are in bed, you know, whatever that is. You know, there's for a lot of people, you know, depending on whether you're caring for little ones or big ones, right? Which one are you caring for?
Right.
And in some cases, well, I know a lot of people that are caring for both. They got their own kids they're caring for, and they got their parents or grandparents that they're caring for, even multiple generations. And when does your time start? You know.
Our parents took care of us. You know, our parents dedicated a lot of their lives to raising us as kids. So when they need us in return, I feel like it's important for us to be there for them.
Why can't we create a happy and healthy community where nobody has to really take care of you, and you actually take care of yourself, and you're healthy and happy?
Well,
why can't we start to
you get 10 or 15 years in there where you don't have to do either one. You got this little in-between time when these folks are, down here is okay and up here is okay.
Oh, and don't forget when you get the other
run
side of it, that you start needing your kids to take care of you. I am not looking forward to that, because
I don't think I want anyone taking care of me. I think that's just a burden. I want to be a burden on somebody.
when that whole thing I said earlier about a hug, being able to give and receive, watching Mike and watching some of my other friends that have their parents living with them or that are living with their parents or taking care of whatever, those moments, there are so many moments that take up, pardon me, it's Friday.
That's a reminder on the phone that says it's Friday.
Well, it's Fan Bag Friday at there's
I see. So you're having this conversation because you can't remember what day it is, so now you got to have somebody take care of you?
It's Fan Bragging Friday at Experience Pros, and it's a radio show in Denver that's on daily, and they are a positive business talk show. So what they are doing really resonates with us. So we're trying to do what we can to help them get more exposure in our community in Denver, to help them grow more, because they're doing some fabulous stuff. So when I was in Denver, to just completely change the topic, I was borrowing a friend's car, and he let me use it for like 5 weeks. I was there. And he's like, don't start it early in the morning because the power drive belt squeals really loud, and it'll wake up everybody. And so I asked my friend, do you happen to know any great auto mechanics, backyard auto mechanics, or somebody that can fix this for Chris? And he introduced us to Saul at Saul's Auto, and I called and I went over. I met him. He's authentic. He's just like us. He lives through his heart. He's passionate about cars. He knows people he didn't know who Joel Kahn was, but he knew. I said, how about the blue Mustang? Oh, yeah, he was here a couple weeks ago. He knew the cars. So, oh my God. Oh my God.
No, it's his son. That's not him.
What kind of shenanigans are going on here?
Seriously? Did you just bust this party?
I have crashed the woman in marketing party.
Did you wear your girdle?
Hey, look at that buzz cut. You cut off all your hair.
That's actually just the unshowered look.
That's okay. Today. It's okay. It's so cool to have you join us. And I was just talking about you.
That's okay. That was Speak of the devil and up he jumps.
What did I do? Hey, Mike's here, so that's like I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I know. He was like, I told him
only you would bust a women's party.
Go get a chair.
Well, we have a blue Mustang Hot Wheel. I was going to look for it, Joel. I just isn't where I said it last. I must have been playing with it.
I don't go there.
Oh, you only you, Joel, would bust a women's party.
Well, Nicole, you posted the link on your page. I'm like, how could I not? And
did you comment on it?
Your creepy baby again. We haven't heard much from Tracy.
Creepy baby here too, Joel.
Oh, awesome! Creepy baby and flying monkeys.
And flying monkeys. That's so cool.
Uh-oh, I hear flying monkeys. Uh-oh.
So, what kind of person would I be if I didn't crash a woman's party?
I know, right? The two men in the world that we know that would crash the woman's party and do it really well.
This is for you, Joel, right here, right there.
It's okay. I did bring a woman.
And a kitty. You brought the kitty.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Love the Mustang.
And we got Dilbert. We all have fun things, and I've got multiple hats today because Tracy inspired me. My hat. This is the hat I wore to the derby.
Okay, well, I guess I'll play. Let's see.
Oh, that's
Wow.
Well, I certainly didn't. I certainly
Okay.
didn't mean to stop any productivity from taking place.
Oh, you haven't stopped
No,
it.
you haven't. Actually, it's been great. Hey.
Now I've got my boulder to boulder hat.
Here we go. Here's the. I think this
like
one.
that.
Aww.
This is.
Let's bring your dog to work day.
Where's my dog?
We got the cat.
Oh my God, you've got one of everything.
Oh my God, your cat looks exactly like my cat.
Tabbies are great cats, aren't they?
Oh my God, it looks exactly like him.
This is Claude. Hey, Claude came from John Heckers. Do you know who John Heckers was?
Uh-uh.
Oh, he's
Here.
a writer for the
Travis is high.
Journal and
Oh,
there we go.
Oh,
There we go.
You're
Scrappy.
excused.
Yeah, Claude's like, I'm done with this.
He's hungry.
So, well, but we've been talking about, marketing. We've been talking about passion. We've talked about how we all met. We've talked about Ken MacArthur and his desire to have an impact on the world and how he's had an impact on all of us. We talked about Joel several times, and now you're here. That's so cool.
So wait, what did you say? This is what happened here.
You do with your car
We recorded. Don't worry.
Yeah, you heard the part about car repairs, and earlier it was about your heart and edifying Ken, and I asked Nicole how she met you, and she met you online like so many other people. I met Mike on LinkedIn, which is appropriate since we're the LinkedIn rock stars. We became the LinkedIn rock stars after we met. Well, you've always been.
You only had
LinkedIn
185 connections when I met you.
He's
That's
always
not
been
rock star
the LinkedIn rock star. I have not always been the LinkedIn diva, but the rock star needed somebody special to be his partner, and so Don Cooper, the sales heretic, coined the phrase LinkedIn diva. Go ahead, Pee-wee.
Don should be at this party. Every time I see Don online, he's surrounded by women.
I know. I love men like that can hang with the girls and hold their own. That's a real man to me. If you want to define a real man, we got two of them in the room. Yeah.
My lower third is broken. I can't get it to.
My lower third is still screwed up. It doesn't. Nobody can read my lower third.
I was moving files around and inadvertently moved my lower third, just the lower third that interviewed for us. Somebody's vacuuming.
Nicole's mowing her lawn.
That's all right. I just muted her. So what is the girls in the middle? Tara and Rebecca, Marketing and Sales Success Show.
Rebecca Welch.
What are you guys working on?
Hey, I see you now.
Well, I have to say that going back to the Ken MacArthur and what happened and all that stuff it was incredibly funny because we spent 4 days trying to figure out exactly what our thing was, and it was something that we had taught classes on, done with every client we did, done with every product we launched. We wrote a book about it, and then went, oh, duh, that's what it is. So that was our huge aha from that event.
Only one book?
Only one book on that.
Only one book on that topic.
Yes, and how
What
many?
was the topic?
The perfect customer profile. How to find the perfect customer who'll buy and buy. So,
but we're officially now 18 books into our 52 books in a year. So our most recent got published last night. So we're well on the way to achieving that goal for sure. And now we've launched the podcast as well. But again, going back to the Ken MacArthur thing. Like Lori said, a lot of you guys I've met at the Ken MacArthur event, which had tremendous impact on my life. I've been telling her for years, you need to come with me to this event. And she's like, okay. I took her kicking and screaming. We got there, and it was awesome, and she was impacted as well. But I've never left a JV Alert event without making at least one really good friend that stayed with me forever after, and without feeling like my life had been changed, and without feeling like I had a family in an industry that I enjoyed. And so that's always been really cool.
Nice.
Yeah. And of course, you guys, we go way back. Love you guys.
So every time it's interesting because people think about what you write about and what you talk about, and I co-authored a book.
Is that your lower third, Joel?
Yeah.
We co-authored a book, Rock the World with Your Online, and I'm on all the top marketing authors on Twitter list for that book, and he's on all the top sales authors on Twitter for that book. So it goes to show that what you talk about online resonates with people. And Tracy, you've talked about Foursquare a lot, and every time I check in on Foursquare, I think of you, and I've got half a mind to tag you in every one of my check-ins, whether you're with me or not.
I think you should.
Joel, move that over to your left. Left.
Spot on.
Other left.
What does it say? Analog?
No, the other left. There you go.
Third.
Analog lower third.
Nice.
You know what? We talked earlier about not being afraid and just stepping out and doing it. Tell people why you are so successful.
Who, me?
All of us?
I gotta get back and stuff.
Okay. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye, Mike.
I gotta get going too, guys. This is running late. I didn't think we were running this long, so I gotta get moving.
No, it is running. My gosh, it is running late.
Yeah.
Well,
You
everybody.
gotta work on your interview skills and your stories.
Joel is
To shorten them. Like,
I'm just going to throw out that Joel is successful because he's fearless. Try it.
yes, go Joel. I've heard this. I gotta go.
Party. I'm gonna run too. Good to see you all. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Joel.
Have a great day, everybody.
Let's
Bye,
get
guys.
soon.
Aloha.
Oh, look, we're down to 4.